So this time we would look at the other part, and the first thing, let's create a new page. You can call it sales main analytics. So we're still going to use the same background which we've used. So I'll make this 0. This is fine. So the next thing, let's go on to this overview. So I'm going to put, I said click image to view target performance. So that's when you click the image. But if we want to come onto this page that we would develop, so let's try and develop it first before we even create that part. So the first thing is this. Let's insert shape. Let's bring in no, not this shape. Here, this rectangle is cool. Bring this way, and I would go on to the style. I'll turn off the fill, then I'll come onto the border. It has got a border, but I'm going to give it a white border, increase it to like 3. Then so I don't need to put a text there. This is fine. I'll click on this again and Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So what I did was to copy. I copy and paste. So I'm going to do another copy and paste again. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I'll bring this one here. So what I'm doing is kind of a format layout. I can bring this down this way. So I've got this layout for myself. So I'm going to put a gauge here. I'm going to put a line chart here, and I'm going to put a shape map here, so as to see how this person is performing. So I think I need to drag it a bit down, because at the top I'm going to put some slicer at the top. So let's see what we've got. This way, this looks all right. And I can as well push this one a bit this way. I can push this one as well this way, just to be consistent with what I've got. Or if it's too much, there's no problem with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come in here and bring in my slicer. I'll come here, take a slicer, come in this way, so what do I want to put here? I want to put a product category. So I'll go on to sales and pick on product category. Then what do I want to do? Do I want to leave it as a list like this? No, I want to make it a drop down. We'll come up here, go to slicer settings, and put it as a drop down. Then this is it. Now this looks great, but this is not where we are going. And so what do I need to do is to go in here and remove the background of this. So look, this looks not too fine because we can't see the text. So that means I have to come back to the values and change the text color to white. On the white color. So then I can't see the value for the title, which is the product category. So that is the slicer header, which is there. So I'll come here and change the color to white. Now, for consistency's sake, if you observe, I've been using Arial as my font, so which I will put on the Arial this way. And so I think I can make it bold, which is fine. And on this looks not too good because the background is showing white and the text are not showing. So I can still come on this one. I'll click on it again, and I've got a place where I can go under the values. Then I've got what is the background, and I'll change this background to something like black. So this looks pretty all right. Okay, so I've got this part sorted out. So what else do I need to do? So I'm going to copy and paste this into different locations. So to have product name and account ID, so Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I've copied, I'll bring it this way and remove what is here and put product name this time. So my format and everything still remain. I'll come here again and Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So I'll take this somewhere here as well, and I would change the value to account ID. This is the reason why I'm putting this one, is that in case I need to look through based on an account that is running. Now, because the list of this account is so numerous, so if I'm looking for a particular account, I don't need to keep scrolling to get an account. So I need to enable a search button here. So how do you do that? When you click on this, you see these three dots. Just click on these three dots, then click on search. That will enable a search button. Do you see now? You can search for an account now. AC, maybe 1, AC2, sorry, is ACC.
ACC, yes.
323 something. You see how it works like that. So I can be specific on the account, and this is very good because when the organization people, the users are using this report and they want to just investigate an account, how it's performing, they can search for the account and click it. And so we would experiment all these things together on this. So another thing I would want to do, and if you recall, I think we should also practice what I showed you yesterday, to be writing the right description on each one of what we are doing. So what do I mean is this, that you go onto view, then enable this selection. Do you see all these things now? They are different things, but you don't even know which one is which one. Let's give them a descriptive name. And this is a best practice to every person that will be developing reports and dashboards. So if you look at, if I click on this slicer now, which one is it showing? Is this one. Do you see it? So I will change it now to account ID slicer. So I will still maintain the same name so as not to lose account ID slicer. So let me click on this one. So I will change this one to product name slicer. Then click on this one. I'll put this one as product category slicer. Now you come onto this shape. This shape, I haven't put what I want to put there, but I'll give it a name. I'm going to put shape map there. I'll put what? Shape map. That's I'll put map. That's what I want to put there. So this one, I want to put a line graph. So line chart shape. So on this other one that is highlighted now, I'm going to put KPI gauge. KPI gauge. Now you can see that everything is well descriptive now based on what I want to do. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to come up here and I would go on to insert. I'll go and bring in a button, a blank button. Can you see my blank button this way now? So I'm going to position it somewhere around here. And let me expand. Expand. This should be okay. So this one is going to be, let me change the shape of this to a rounded rectangle. Then I can remove the rounded rectangle is good at 25. Then let's go on to this style and see the fill. So it's not colored now, so I've turned on the color. Then I want to give it a kind of yellow. So I'm not sure about the yellow, but don't let me lose consistency in terms of my color. I'm going to go back to this overview file so as to see the yellow I use in this place. So let me click on this one. So I want to just copy the color that I use. I don't want to lose color. So what I just did is to go on more color. You see this, Control C. So I've copied what I want. So this is fine with me. I'll click on this again. You go on to the style. Let's go back to the color fill. Select this and paste it here, which gives me the yellow I want. But if you look at it, it's fainted inside because there is a transparency. So I can take this transparency to 0. So I have a full yellow that I want. So now I need to include text to it. So let me turn on the text. I'll turn on the text and put profit as the text. So let's still maintain the same thing, area. And so we would increase this to maybe 15. 15 is fine. Then I'll make it bold. So this looks okay. Now can you now see what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come on to this place and change it to what? Profit. So I've got a profit button before, so let me give it another name called profit to button. You see that I'm being descriptive about what I'm doing. So I can click on this now, Control C, Control V. I'll bring it this way. And this is it. I can bring it down. If you use this place, it will. Let me first rename it. Look at it. I need to rename it and call it revenue 2 button. So let me bring it down because it should be under the. So I'll click on this and I'll click to go come down. So let me change the text inside it now. So go on to the style and let's, rather than using profit, this time we put revenue. So you see that we've got that sorted out. So the next thing I'm going to do is Ctrl C and Ctrl V again, which gives me the opportunity to bring this one as well to this place, and I would rename it again and give this one volume 2. Button. I'll bring it down below this one. So all this is sorted out. So let me go to the style and see that I change the text to volume. So this is fine. So everything is sorted out, but I might not be too accurate about the alignment of this. So hold your control key, click on the first one, click the second one, and click the third one. Then go on to format. Then you see align, distribute horizontally, then distribute vertically. So the spacing between them and horizontal, everything is sync. So this makes sense. This is a perfect setting so that when someone is looking at your report, they are not seeing inconsistency in the direction of your shapes. So this looks very okay now. So another thing I'm going to bring in is that let me bring in another slicer. We've not started building design. Yes, I understand that. So I'm going to click on this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So let's bring this one somewhere here. But this time around, I want it to be consistent with this one. So if I do like this, you see that I'm on the same shape. But if you don't know how to do this, you can just click on this one, go to the general, go to the properties. You see that 58 by 187. So come here and put what? 60 what? Oh, sorry, let me click on this again. 58 by 187. So if you click on this one, is 86 by 187. So it's the width I'm interested in because this is a slicer. So I will not need to be consistent with the height. So the width is okay for me. So I'll need to come back to this one, I'll take off this and go to the calendar and put on the year filter so as to select a particular year, maybe 2023. So that's what I want. So I can click on this again. Now there's something missing about this thing, but if you like it that way, no problem. Is that there is no border around this. So I can decide to put a border around it, but if you like it the way it doesn't have border, so as it doesn't tell anything, so it makes it, I think I will leave it without a border, but I would still need to show you. So you see this now, I've got the year now. So you see the position, look at it here, this is the name. So it's showing product category slicer, whereas it's not because I duplicated it. That's why it's showing it. So what I will do is I will rename it and put what? Year slicer. Come back here and put year slicer. So I'm going to pick this one again. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring it below this one, and I'll say then I'll change the value from year to month name. So you see this. Now you will notice something here, that this month is not sorted because I have not sorted, and automatically it will be using, even if you want to sort it, it will be taking it as alphabetical order, and that is not how month is sorted. So what do we do to solve this problem? You click on this, you go onto the table view, which I've explained to you before. So while on this, you click on the name, you click on the column month name, Then you come on to sort by column. So we'll sort it by the month. It's going to load and everything will be sorted when we go back to the report view. So do you see it's sorted now? January, February, March, which we've achieved. So I can as well do this, click on this, hold my control key, hold this one also, so as to see that they are well aligned. Okay, it's already there, so I don't need to disturb myself about it. It's not highlighted, it's horizontally announced for both. It's okay. So this is fine, but I've done it for this. So what I mean by this, what I mean by those, what's it called? The border around this is that if you are okay with it, I can click on this and come on to the format and then come on to this one and go on to the effect and turn on visual border and give it like something like white, so for it to look like this. So that's the reason why I want to just see if it is better. So that's just what I want to show you about this. So I can take off the border again because it's not really important for it and it's not something we need to deal with. So I'll take it off again so as to see that we are consistent. So I need to change this name to month name slicer. This is fine. So at this point we've got virtually everything we need. So let's start
Sorry, Alex, I
developing.
just observation.
Please, can you hold on, please? So we've got this now, and the other thing that we'll do is to create a text. Let's insert text and type performance versus target. I'm going to use Arial. Not too sure if 12 will be okay, but it's still fine. I'll bring it here this way. I'll bring it this way. Then I would change this text color to white. So unfortunately you won't be able to see it once I put it to white because of this white background, but nevertheless what I'm going to do is to go to the properties, effect, and turn off the background so I can see it. This is okay. Then I can rename this and it's a text box, so which is fine. Just put performance. So I don't have too many disturb on this one. So the major one that I would need to change over and over is going to be this next one that will carry the description. So this one, I'm going to change this one to profit. and I will reduce the space this time around. I think this should be okay. This should be okay. I would make it something like 16, and I'll make it bold. I will bring it up this way. Then I can decide to put it at the center. So even this one, I should put it at the center. Double click on it. Center. So on this one now, you see I'm on this one. So I'll change it to profit 2 text box. So I'm going to take this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Okay, I'll bring it this way also. This is fine. I'll take this one as well. Ctrl C. Oh, no. I have to come back and pick it up again. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring it this way. Yes, the same line with it. So this is fine. And I'm going to use this. I'll give this one another name. Let me use profit tree. I'm going to use profit tree as the text box. I'm not going to change this one because it's going to remain static. So what do I need to do? Let me try and position them alright so that I won't lose things. So this one. So this one, let me bring, okay, for now, okay, let me still put this one as a different name. This, okay, it's fine like this. I think this is supposed to be performance, so sorry for that. Okay, so we've got this now. So the next thing we're going to do, let's bring out our KPI gauge. If I click on this, oh, undo, because I was clicking on the month, so it now overwrite it. So you Ctrl Z, or you use this at the top to correct the last step of mistake you made. So I'm clicking outside it to select it now. Gauge. I'm going to bring it in to this place. Yeah, I don't need to expand it for now, but I don't know why. So now what we want to do is that we want to look at the actual profit and target first. So let's go on to the measure that we've created. You put on the value, you put the actual profit in the value, then you bring the target profit into the target values here. Now let's try to make this beautiful than just having this. So you go on to this, then generate effect. We'll first take off the background, and I don't need title on this. Then the next thing I want to do is to go on this visual, gauge as is. I don't leave it there. Color. So let's play around with this color. Let's use yellow, and for the gauge, let's use a black. A black. Then this is fine. For the data label, let's change the color to white. Target label, let's change it to white. And another thing is that we should be consistent with our fonts, because those that are using it want to see consistency as well. Then we'll go into the data label and change this also to Arial. Then the next thing, the callout value, would shift this also to white, and would also be using Arial. Now the next thing we are going to do, let's push this up a bit. Let's push it up a bit. I think somewhere like this is okay. Somewhere like this is okay. Let me see what I can adjust again. I want you to just bear with me. I'm pushing up. I'm pushing up. So I want to bring, the other thing we've got there. Sorry, please. So I want to bring in these two values. These two. How to bring these two in this report. It's easy for me to bring it in an easy way. I can create it as a new what's it called, from a new visual, so which is fine. I will go on to the card visual. Then what have we got it to be? Year-to-date profit target. That is because we are looking at profits, and we'll take this color value to be like 28. We'll change this to Arial. Then yeah, I'll take off this title which I don't need. I'll bring this up a bit like this. If there's need for me to close it up, then I'll go back again and take off the background. Then change this value again to white color. I can make it bold. So next thing is to see. Let me bring it down a bit this way. So I'm going to Control C this and Control V just to duplicate it, and I'll bring it this way. So I'll take off this one, then I'll come to my format and go on to profit description. Then I'll go onto this color value and apply this formula for the color coding. So I'm going to use a feed value, and the feed value is going to be profit color, and you click OK. Then I can easily come this way and push this one this way for it. So on this, it looks as if we've got what we want, and things are looking pretty okay here. So let me see one more thing. I think this one I need to reduce this value in this place, so which is the call out value. I would let's try and see his area. It's going to be is an automatic value that we've got, so that's fine. There's no problem with that. So we've got this one, and let's quickly do our naming again, so as we will not lose things. Then we can easily group them into what we need it to be. So you click on this, and you call it, let's call it profit gauge. Let's give it profit gauge. Then what else have we got? Let's click on this one and call it profit to card. Let's click on this one and call it profit to icon. Now look at what I want to do. I will take this one, hold my Control Shift, take this one, hold my Control Shift, take this one, hold my Control Shift, and then I would take this. Where is it? You see this one, which is this price that is here. I will take it. So I've taken the three of them. You see they are all highlighted, and I will group them into one. Right click and group. So you could see they are all one now. I can now call it, I will call this price KPI. I've grouped all of them together, and I call it price KPI. Now look at what I'm going to do is to, you see everything is selected together, so it's grouped. If I click on it like this, if I click on it, it will be highlighted. You see it's highlighted. I can do Control C now and Control V. It will duplicate it. Do you see that it's duplicated now? I have it two ways. So look at what I will do. This is the latest one. Let me move it down. Then I will rename it and call it revenue KPI. Revenue KPI. I will click on this one again, Control C, Control V. This is it. I'll bring it down. This is it. I can double click on it again and give it volume KPI. Now, if you look at it now, I've gotten 3 different things on top of themselves. So what I want to do, I want them to sit on top of themselves exactly. But let me show you that you've got 3 different things. So you see this I button. If I turn off this I button, turn off this I button, is only one that is showing. So if I turn this one off, it's only this one that will be showing. It's only the revenue that is showing. If I turn this one off and turn on this one, it's only this one that is showing. But all of them is still showing me the value of what? Volume. Price. So look at what I'm going to do now. I'm going to click on this price, which is the default one. Then I'm going to go to the properties and note the position, this position, the position if it has got 279,128, 279,128. So I'll come here and I'll go to the properties again and come here and go to the position and put 279,128. So it's sitting on the same place now. I will come to this one as well and go to the properties, position 279,128. So you can't say anything here because the 3 eyes are off. Let me turn them on again. You will see they will accurately sit on top of themselves. This is what I want to achieve, that they sit together very well. So the next thing I'm going to do is now to make them dynamic. So I'm okay with this price. So let's make this revenue to be revenue. So I'll come on to this. Let me turn off this price and turn off this volume because I want to work on the revenue. So I will expand this one. So the first thing is this. Let's look at the profit too. It's showing profit description. I will take it off and go and take revenue description. Then this has got a color value that is formatted. I'll click on this. Then I'll change this color to the one of revenue color. I'll click OK. Then I will rename it to revenue to icon. So let me go to the card. I will take off this card and take that off revenue. Then I'll change it to revenue to card. Then I'll come on to the gauge itself. This is the gauge. So rather than having actual profit, I should have actual revenue, which I'll bring it in here. Having target profit, I'll bring in target revenue. So the next thing I'm going to do is to change this to revenue gauge. Then the last one, which is this text box. So I'll come here and change this text to revenue. I try to type from the penultimate one so as for me not to lose the format of what I've got. So I can stretch it so as it should be in the same line. So this is fine. Then I can rename this as well to revenue to text box. Then let me collapse this. See, if I close this one now and I open up this, you see profit is showing. If I close up this and open up this, revenue will be showing. Now at the end, I'm going to do the next one, which is for the volume. Then when we do the visualization for this one to this one, so we'll now use this 3 button to control everything. So by the time we host it on Power BI service, it will be dynamic, and you now see. Then we would also come here to this place, because I told you before that I'm going to create the name list here. When you click this guy name, it's going to come here to the salesman analytics, show the picture of the guy here, and show all his information from the overview page. That's where you will be coming to this place. This page might not be obvious for people to go directly from the BI report, but it will come through the link there. So that's where we are going. So let's quickly look at the volume. So I'm going to turn off this eye and open up this one for volume. So let's expand. The first one is the icon here. I'll take it off and take on this one. Then I'll go to this color value and change these properties from this to volume color and say okay. So it's good for me to rename it and put volume 2 icon. So the next one is to come to this one, take off this and take on the volume. Then the next thing is to double click on it and give it volume 2 card. If you notice something, it looks as if it's shorter, so I have to expand it so that I won't lose the value, which makes sense for me. So the next one is to go on the gauge. I'll take off this profit and go take on the volume as well. I'll take off this target profit and take on the target volume. Then what next is to change this to volume gauge. Then the last one, which is this name here, I'll click on it, then change it to volume. And put it as volume 2 text box. So if I turn this off and turn this one on, you see what we've got. If I turn this on, so this, you see what we've got. If I turn this on, see this, you've seen what we've got, which shows that it's now dynamic based on how we want it to be. But the default one I will use is the price, because it's the price that comes first on the list. So that is it for this one. So I haven't done this last section, so we'll move ahead to create another view, and which is going to be still the same performance versus target. So we'll still work with this profit view, but when we finish up, then we'll now create the other parts of it as we've said before. So let's go on and create and bring in a new visual. Let's bring in a new visual so we can use a line graph. Let's get so you see this line chart. I'm going to bring the line charts in this place. Then we're going to view this line chart by we'll look at it by months. Let's see what we've got. So you go into you take the month name from the calendar and put it on the x-axis. Then we've got two options, two parameters we are going to pick. We'll pick the actuals profit on the y-axis. Then let's take the target profit as well and put on the y-axis as well. So we've got two together at this point, and this is by the month. So what do we want to do as well at this point is to click on this. Then let's try to do a bit of formatting. And the first thing is I'm going to turn off the title, which I don't think I need it. I'll turn it off. Then I'll go to the effect, take off the background, which is something cool for me. Then I would go on to the visualization, and on this x-axis, which is the month, I will change the font to white. Then I can use what was it called? I think we are using Arial, which is fine. Then do we need to put the title? I'm going to turn off the title because I don't need the title. Then the next thing is to go onto my y-axis, and so on the value I would change this value as well to white. Then it's going to be Arial. Then come back to this on the title. I will turn it off, which is not necessary for me. So I've got the legend here. So what do I need to do with the legend is to also format. Come in here. So let's put the legend. Let's see, turn off the legend title. The text, what color is the text? I'm going to make it white, which is fine. And then where do I want to position the legend? Let me put it at top right. Then I can decide to use the marker, line and marker kind of design like this. So the legend look pretty okay now. I can turn this off and go onto the grid line. You could see all this dotted line here. These are grid lines. Sometimes doesn't really make sense to some visual, so I will take it off. That's the horizontal grid line. Then I would come into the lines. If I go onto the actuals, so what have I got is a solid, so it's okay. What color is it? I'm going to change this color to, we've got our color preference right from the beginning, if you recall. So we've got yellow and white, so let me pick up yellow. So if I come up here, I will need to remember the yellow color I use at this point of design. so as not to mix things up when I was working on this. Yeah, this is okay. Let's see, let me see. I need to just be sure of the yellow color. So this is the yellow color I use. Control C. I've copied it, and that's fine. I can come back to this place and go back to my line, then color, change this to the yellow I've copied. Then I would change this to this target now. Then I'll come to the line and change this to white. So this looks all right. This looks all right, and I think that's a good one. So the next thing we are going to look at is to go on to this part, and let's try and put in a shape map. If that's that might be the best, that might just be the best option for us. If we use a shape map and see what we can view from that. So how do you bring in a shape map? You come in here again. You can just click outside it so that we can have this visual. So I've got shape map. You click on the shape map. Let's bring it down to this. You can bring this way and bring this way. So on the shape map, so what do we want to look at? We want to look at site name. Where do we have the site name? On the sales table, we'll take the site name to the location, then and on the color saturation, which is this part, we'll take the actual profit. Is already there. So the shape map is not showing anything, so don't be surprised because we haven't set the location. So you go on to this format, you go to map settings, and you see the default is USA, but we are based in the United Kingdom. So I will click onto the United Kingdom. Now you see that the shape map has gotten a shape. So I can change the projection from orthographic to something like equal rectangular. This is a bit okay compared to this. If you want to put on the zoom, this you can turn this on. If you want to zoom on selection, also if you want to, like when you click on it, it's automatically zoom. But if you are not clicking, if you want to do that, that's fine. But if not, if you just want to leave it the way it is, that's fine. So let's quickly make one or two things on this. Is that you see this fill color, we can as well work on this fill color from this maximum. This we can use this. Then so if we use this, and let's start with, I don't know how we're going to look at it. Because I just want us to look at it from an angle like this. Yeah, so I think this is, so it fades from this yellow down to this. So we can as well close up this, go on to the general, on the title we don't really need to look at the title, or but if you just want to still put the title, that's cool, because we can just put we can create the same thing here and just put the same stuff as we've got this there. So rather than using this title, it's optional. You get me? So based on how we want to do it, I can just put it there and I just put this. So and also it might not also be necessary, because when you have that you are on profit, everything shows, so you should know that this is showing the profit as well. So for now, let's leave it. So if we need to adjust it, we'll know. Come on to the effect and let's turn off the background. So this looks pretty okay for us, and it's looking nice. At least you know that this is based on profit. I can as well just come in here. I'll just pick up this one. I can pick up this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, then I'll bring it somewhere here for it to live around here. So for me to know that it's a profit, but I can as well just move this one down so as not to mess up things, you get. So this looks pretty nice, and there's something I noticed here. These are shifted out of the way, so let's adjust it back to its right position. It went beyond where it's supposed to be. Then let's pick up this one inside this one. Yes, can adjust this. Okay, this is fine. Now there is one more thing I want to add. We've not created other pages, so we should note that. And I told you that what we want this to do is that when you click a name, I'll put a name down this way. So when you click the name, it should take you to the analytics and show the picture of the person up here and the name of the person. Then so I will show you the trick around that. Just give me a second for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to work on something. It's going to be a very funny way of doing things. I'm going to bring up a table. So I'm not clicking anywhere. I'm bringing up a table here. It's going to be a small table, no problem. Just bring this table this way. And the essence of doing all this is for you to just see that you can manipulate things the way you want it, irrespective of anything. So now, two things I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the image, this image, and I'm going to take full name, and URL. The URL, we've already made it a table. So I'm putting these two things here. Full name and URL. Then what do I need to do is that this title, I can do different things with it. That's just one thing you should know. So but before that, let me change this to none, the preset of this table to none. Okay, so I haven't done that. So what else do I need to do? I don't need to add a lot of features, just as it's supposed to be So the effect, let's look at the effect. Turn off the background. I've turned off the background, so there's no title, which is fine. So let's look at the values. So I'll go on to the values this way. Now look at what I'm going to do. I will change this text value to yellow. I'll change it to yellow. So let me put let's still be consistent. Arial, then let me put it something like 15. Like 15. Then what else do I need to do on this value again? So is there anything that might, so I would just come here and collapse this. So this grid I don't need it. I'll need to just turn it off. I don't need the grid. So total, I'll turn it off. I don't need anything total because it's a funny table I'm working with. So now come and see a funny trick of what I want to do. I want to bring in something here. I will bring in a slicer because I'm still manipulating things around here. I want to bring in a slicer, but I will hide that slicer at a point. I'll go onto a slicer. Then I will go on this slicer. I'm going to go put in the full name. Then let me make this slicer a drop down. I would raise it up, and the another thing is this: I will turn off the background of this slicer. Then I'm going to collapse it this way. For now, assume you have the slicer here, but when we finish this visualization, I'm going to hide it. So I'm going to select, let me select Jeffrey Glover. Now, so there is no other thing showing here again. So why I selected that is I want to now format this one in the right way. So I'll bring it down like this, extend this one, then I can push it a bit this way. So you see, I have what I need this way. So if let me try another person's, so I don't want a situation whereby it is being extended indirectly. Then I'll go to Kevin Bill just to see what I'm getting. Everything looks fine. Then I'll go to Timothy this. Okay, so like this one now, this one disrupted the way, so I need to still extend then because of this one only. So I need to push it a bit. That's fine with me. I don't have issue to do that because so I can push this a bit this way. So that shows that everything is well aligned. I can also move it up. Move this up. Just go up a bit. So by looking at this person, you know that you are looking at this person's profile, and that's it. So one more thing I want to do here is that you see I've got let me go back to this place. Style column header. You've seen this column header. Let me just a quick thing I just need to look at. Yes, okay, that's fine. Now look at this column header now. I would, because it was like, I would change it to black so that you are not seeing anything showing there, because there's no point. I don't need it, but I just want to manipulate things so that my visual looks appealing. So for you to see black on black, then that person eye must be very, very sharp. So that's why. So the same thing I would do when I get to this place as well. The same thing I will do. But for now, so we've got the name of these persons, we've got this, and we've got this. So if I untick this now, you see that it's a drop down. But it's wrong for me to have that kind of visuals on this. So one must always be selected. That's the aim of it. So, and I'm going to control this not from here. And that's why I will make this field hidden, that nobody knows that something is there. I'm going to be controlling it from the overview file. That's where the control and everything will be happening. So for now, we'll leave it like this so as for us to see what we are doing and see how we are progressing. So we'll go on to the other bit and see what we can bring in again. So the name is fine. I'm okay with that. So let's go on to this. So just give me a second, please. Okay, so let's quickly come back to this overview file where we would control this. I'll go on to overview. I'm going to introduce a button. I'll call it, I'll go into insert. Then I will take a blank button. This is the blank button. I'll bring it this way. I will extend to this point. Okay, so this is fine. Then what I'm going to do is to go on to the style. I will turn on the text and give it a name, the name of this guy, Jeffrey. So I can definitely increase the font type. So I can come here and take this to 15 and Arial. Then what color do I want for it to be? It should be white. So I've got his name. What do I need to do again is to still on the style, let's see, do I want to have a border? If I want to give it a border, so what color of border do I want to use? Let me use something around this yellow, so as to just have things like this for it. So I can pick up this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'm going to change the name of this one to Katie. Harrison. This looks okay. Control C, Control V. Going to come on this one and change the name of this to Kevin Buckley. Take this one, C, Control V. Go on the style. Control C, Control V. Change this to Timothy Rogers. So this is great. Now, so there is no point for me to have name being duplicated the way it has been in this place. So I can come back here and take off this name. If you remember when I created this one, I've got onto the layout grid. Is it clear on color values, label? So this place, I'm going to turn this on off so that the name goes off. Why I kept it there before is to know the exact name that each one has, so as to. Now I've got this part sorted out. So the next thing is to do that when we make this clickable, when we click on Jeffrey, when you click on his name, when you click on his name, this part would change. This part would change. When you unclick it, it goes to normal. But when you click the name, not when you click on the pic image, is this part that we control. But when you click on this name, it should take you to sales main analytics and show you its performance. That's the aim of what we want to do. So it will automatically come to this place and show you its performance. So that's the next thing we want to do. These are things that you already know how we will do it. It's the same method of creating a bookmark. That's the same thing we're going to do, but in this case it looks more like it's visually compelling, that it will look as if it's going to be a difficult task. No, it's just the same ABC. The trick around this is that we'll use this one that I'm going to hide later on to control it. So we'll create a bookmark. Based on the first person's name, connect it to that name in the overview file. Then we create like that. That's how we're going to repeat everything. So for now, before we do that, there are other things we need to do. Is that we need to have for volume and for revenue these features here. We need to have these features for volume and for revenue. But we've only done for profits. If you recall, we've not treated that of volume, we've not treated that of revenue. So let's quickly solve that one before we link this part, because that will be the last thing we are going to do. So we'll go ahead and link that part. Okay, so let's go to the view. Let's have our selection. Just the rule of thumb, as we've always been doing, is to see that we use the name, we give description to everything we are doing so that we won't miss things out. So let's take this part. price KPI. We are on price KPI now. That means we've done for volume. We've actually done for volume. Let me turn off this in our last class and turn on revenue. Oh, that's great for us. Oh, great. So I'll turn on this one and do for revenue. Okay, let me for volume rather. Oh, this is great. So we need to just do for this part and this part, then we can push up. Oh, great. This is awesome. So let's quickly look at for this part now. So we'll start with the volume for that part. And so we'll take this one. We'll pick this one. It's selected. You see it. Let's call it profit. Let's give it a name that we can easily remember. Profit line text box. Profit line. So we can remember that. Profit line text box looks okay. So we'll call this one. Let's look at this one again. We'll call this one profit line KPI. Let's give it like that. Profit line, that's line graph, that's what I mean. Profit line KPI. Yes. So I'm going to bring in, the profit line text box. I will take it to go to the direction of this, so that I can have these both highlighted together. So I have both highlighted together, then I can group them. So since both is highlighted, right click, then group, then I can give it a name, profit line chart. So that's the group. So as easy as it is now is to duplicate this for volume and revenue. So the first one we'll do will be for so I'm going to click on it. I'm not going to expand it, but I'm going to click on it. So I'm going to copy this, click on it so as to ensure that it's highlighted. It has both this and this. Okay, click on it again, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So this is the new one. I'll bring it down and let me give it a name and call it revenue line chart. Revenue line chart. So I'm going to expand this, and this, let me start with this text box, and so I'm on the text box now. Okay, before I will do that, let me hide this one, so for everything to look nice. So I'm going to change this to revenue. Speed. Okay, revenue. So I'll come on to this one. So I should rename this as well. Change this profit to revenue. click on this one. Then I'm going to change this actual profit and target profit to revenue. So which is very, very straightforward. Actual revenue, target revenue. I can come in here and change the color. Then change this to target. Change this color to white. Then I can come here. This is fine. I can change this line KPI, profit now, to revenue line KPI. Revenue line KPI. I can collapse this. So if you see this now, I have both on revenue at this point. So this looks okay. So another thing I would need to do is that, just to be more specific, so I would duplicate this last one for volume first. Then I will try to bring the KPI and the line chart on the same line, so as when we are toggling on the bookmark, we would get it rightly. So I'll click on this one again, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Then I'm going to bring it down, which is this. So I'm changing this to volume now. This will now be volume. This is fine. And so let me turn off this. So let's quickly work on this volume. So if I expand this, I will have this KPI. Let's quickly go on, take off this, take the actual volume and the target volume. So I can go on to this and change the line color, change the first one. So I have to select the actual, then change this to yellow. Then I will go on to this one and change this to white. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to come back here and give it a volume name. Come back here, volume. So I would come in here and so change this to volume. You can easily come here and rename it and give it volume. This is okay. Now there's something we always do, which I believe you know, that is to see that they all sit in the same position. So let's try to look at this profit and let's see the sitting position. So this is seated on 253,430, 253,430. So I'm going to ensure that every other one sits on that position as well of 253,430. So what I'm going to do is to click on this one, then I'll go on to the properties here, position, then I'll change it to 253,430. So that's now on the same position. I'll do the same thing on this one. Go to the properties, then the position as well, 253,430. So they are all seated in the same position now. So the next thing I'm going to do is to let me put this 1, 2, 3 as in the same place as this one, so that when creating bookmark, my bookmark would be very similar. So let's take this one. I'm going to move this one up. Yes, so KPI and line graph. So I'm going to take this one also up. So KPI and line graph. So I'm taking this one also, take it up. So KPI and line graph. So what I'm doing in essence is this, that I can easily control the, like for instance, I would want to have price KPI, profit line KPI both on, then I will turn off these ones. So this is what so I can easily arrange my, when creating bookmark, I can easily arrange them using this. So let's quickly do this one. This is just this one is this one and this. So what was it called? Let's give it a name, shape map, price shape map. Let's give it price shape map or price map. Let's call it price map. This is fine. Then we can come here and change this one as well. This price here. So I'm trying to locate that. So this is it here. This is it. So I'll call it price map text box. So I'm going to take this one to where I have my price shape map. I think I created it now. This price shape map. Okay, so this price map text. So I'm going to take it up to price map. I'm putting it above price map. So let's click this one, and this is the text for it. So I'm having shape map here. Where is this one coming from? Okay, shape map. This should not be shape map now. This will be shape map box. It's okay, like so. I don't want to mix up things, you know. So you get profit and price map. I'm going to group these two together. Right click, then group. So it's going to be called price shape map now. Price map, let me call it price map KPI. Okay, so this is for the price, which is cool. Let's copy this and copy and paste, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I'll bring it down. So I'm going to change this one to revenue map KPI. Revenue map KPI. So on this one, I will take on the text. So let me quickly hide this one so that I can control this one easily and change this to revenue. Okay, I can edit this also and put. You agree with me that all these are repetitions, so it's just more of administrative work now. There's no technicality on this. Just you've known the logic. I'm repeating the logic on different things, and whenever you are even working on a big project, it's the same logic you've gotten, but trying to repeat it on the same thing. So let's quickly change this one. First is that I'm going to change this actual profit to actual revenue. So I've changed it to actual revenue. Let me change this to revenue map. Okay, so this looks pretty okay. I'm going to click this and do Ctrl C, Ctrl V. I've got it now. I'm going to move it down to be used as volume now. Great. So I'll expand. Let me hide this one so that I can see this text very well to control. I'll change this again to volume. Rename this as volume map text box. So we'll come on this one, change this actual revenue to actual volume. Then we name this to volume map. Yeah, this is great. Now we are done with this now. So the other bit is to get the position of this so as to get everything in the right place. So I'll go to the position and see that this is on 773133, which is fine. So I'll go on to this one, properties, position, and put it at 773 by 133. This is great. I'll come on this as well, properties, position, then it's going to be 773 by 133. This is perfect. So they are all aligned in the same position. So if I turn, okay, I can turn off this, then have only the price. So at this point, so this is for the price analytics for Jeffrey Glover. So let's quickly arrange this as well and see, this price KPI and this one. So I can bring this one down. Okay, so this makes sense. So I'll bring this one also down to the revenue area. This makes sense to me now. I'll take this one. Okay, so all this makes sense. You see that all the prices are the one that is on, except so yeah, that's it. So this really makes sense. I'll click on this one. Let me give a name to this one and call it hidden slicer, so that we will not forget when we want to hide it. Hidden slicer. Okay, so we all know what to do in terms of creating view, how to link all these ones to control. So by the time you click revenue, this changes. By the time you click volume, this changes. Is what we just need to do is to create a bookmark for that. And how do you create a bookmark? Is for you to pop up the bookmark and start adding the views you want. So let's do that fast, and we can then see what we can do. So it's two-way things. We can work on this. So the first one is to see we are on price. Let's see this price. I'll click on this price. You see, I haven't created any bookmark for it. So you go on to bookmark. So, and we have to give it a unique name this time around. So this, we know we've got the first one, price bookmark. So we can say price analytics bookmarks. So because it's sales analytics, so we can say price sales main analytics. So let's create the first one, and remember that everything is on price. That everything is on price. Let's note that everything is on price. So we have to be very certain about that before we create. So, and I'll see, is there anything that needs to be hidden? No. Yes, I can come here and hide this guy so as not to show anything around this. Okay, it doesn't really matter because that's not what. Yeah, let me hide this first. Hidden. I'll hide this. Is hidden. So let's create the first bookmark and call it price analytics. Price analytics. So I'm going to update this. Yeah, that's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn off this, turn off this, turn off this, then turn on this, and this, and I'll call it sales analytics. Update. So the next thing I'm going to do is to turn off this, turn off this, turn off this, then turn on this, turn on this, and this, and I'll create a new one and call it volume analytics. So I would, so I can come here and do update. So I need to rename this to from sales analytics to, it's supposed to be revenue analytics. I'm not going to update, so but I cannot, that's it. It's working now, because so if I click volume, things change to volume. If I click price, things change to price. So, and you know how to make this to be controlled by this. How do you do that? So you click on this one and you go onto the action and expand it. The type should be bookmark, and you take the price analytics. So click on this one, you turn on this, you make it a bookmark, and you put it as revenue analytics. So the last one, which is this, you turn this on, the action, make this bookmark, and you make this one volume analytics, which make serious sense. So everything here is working perfectly fine, and that is what we want to achieve at this point, like this. So let me quickly turn on this hidden slicer again. So the default is price. If I hold this one now, if I hold my control shift and press this button now, everything changes to revenue. If I hold control shift and volume now, everything changes to volume, which is fine, which is fine, which is fine as well, which is fine. So let's go back to the profit. Now this is the bit I quickly need to show you guys. I will come here. Okay, so I can still keep it up to overview. Go back to the overview file. So I'll create a new bookmark. I'll call it Jeffrey. I'll create a new bookmark and call it Jeffrey. But look at where I'm going to create that new bookmark. I'm going to create the bookmark here. And so I'll add and say Jeffrey. That's the bookmark I've created. Now look at the next thing I'll change this name again. I'll change this name again to Katie. I'll change this name again to Katie and I'll create a bookmark called Katie. I'll create this one again and create another one called Kevin. Another one, Miranda. Timothy. Yes, so I've created different ones now. So I'll come back to this overview file. So I'll click on this first one, Jeffrey. I'll add an action, and my action will now be bookmark. Then I'll select his name, Jeffrey. I'll click on this one. I'll go on to the action. I'll make a bookmark, and I'll select Katie. I'll come onto this one, make it this, I'll make a bookmark. I'm going to make it Kelvin. So I'll come on this one, make action. It's going to be a bookmark, and it's going to be called Miranda. So the last one is going to be action, bookmark, and it's going to be called Timothy. So with this one now, look at what would happen. If I click on Katie now, it will take me to the next page and show Katie information. So if I can now go as well, but something is wrong here. I will show you that. I will correct that in a minute, but for now, what we intend to do is working. So let's try another person. Let's try Miranda. Look at this Miranda. I'm going to click on it. It's going to take me to the bookmark. You see that it's showing me analytics of Miranda. So let's quickly turn off this place. Let's turn this on off for all this bookmark we created. So I'm on Jeffrey now. So I will turn this eye off for Jeffrey and update. So I'll go on Katie. This eye is still on for Katie, so I will now turn it off again and update. I'll go on Kelvin. I would turn this off as well, then update. I'll come on Miranda, take this eye, I'll take it off, then I'll click update. Then we'll go on Timothy. So just to see that the eye is off as well, click on update. So at this point, I've updated everything as I want. So if I come up here again and I click Katie, control and click, so I'm here on Katie page and this is not showing anymore, so which shows that everything as planned is working. So there's something I observe about this. Let's click Miranda to take us to the analytics of Miranda. You click on this. Now we've got the analytics of Miranda working for us, but look at it. If I click on volume to see the volume of Miranda, just notice, we are on Miranda, so I will go on to volume. Do you notice that the name changes? This name changes, so that means that it's giving me the volume of Jeffrey Glover. Now the reason is that because when I created this bookmark, it was on Jeffrey Glover when I created it. So instead of it to keep the record of Miranda that I used to come into the page, it's not keeping it. Now that's where the problem is coming from. It's coming from the bookmark of the volume analytics. When you click this volume, you are controlling this volume analytics. That's why it's highlighted now. So what I need to do is to come onto these three dots and take off this data, then update. So what I mean is that it should not keep track of that data, the record of that data, but it should just use the one that is currently at the states. So let's go back to this place again now. Overview. I'm going to click Miranda Kim again. So it should take me to Miranda Kim page. So this is the analytics of Miranda Kim. And if I go onto the volume this time around, I expect it to keep the record of Miranda Kim even on volume. Do you see it now? So if I've also corrected it on revenue, if I click on the revenue, it should also keep the record for Miranda Kim on revenue as well. But I have not corrected it on profit. So if I should click this profit, it's going to change to the default name because I haven't corrected that. You see that it's changing to Jeffrey Glover. So what I need to do also on the price analytics now, because no, that was one I clicked. So I have to do the same thing here and take off this data, then update. So I can go back to this overview and check things out myself again. I'll go on to Miranda Kim, click on Miranda Kim. It takes me to the page. And I'll click on revenue. Still the record of Miranda Kim, but based on his revenue. I'll go on to the volume based on our revenue, our volume as well. So if I go on to that profit again now, it's going to be based on the profits of Miranda Kim. So at this stage, I can't change the name of this analytics. I can't change the name on this sales analytics page. So, but I can only get to know better about a particular person through the overview page. So we can go on to Timothy Rogers. You know, when you click the image, that's why I click image to view target performance. That's this. But so this one now is the name. If I click Timothy Rogers now, you see Timothy Rogers. So if I go on the volume, it's going to keep that record for me for his volume. If I go on his revenue, it's going to keep that record for me based on his revenue. If I go on his profit, it's going to keep that record for me based on his profit. So you see how dynamic this has become. And this is what you can do. And you see, it's like a zero code. You are not even writing code. But this has to do with more of your creativity on how to use a particular features that you've learned. So it's very effective. So at this point again, what we can now do is to host our reports. In the cloud for the business to start using. So I'll go on to the home. We go on to publish. We save these. For the team to start seeing how they are performing. So this on this place, they have access to it. You know, we've created our workspace. We created different users in different workspace and how they have access. So what workspace would this be? So we're going to put this on the sales workspace because that is where they have access to. I'm going to select this. It's publishing at this time. It might take some time for it to finish publishing, and when that is done, they have access to start using the reports. So now we've got our publication finished. I'll click on this so as to go to the page, and you can also bookmark the page online and you have access to see how your report is doing. So this would ask us to sign in. You still remember you have this also in yours as an administrator. You have access to it. Then you sign in. You see how your report is going. And I believe every one of you can go to your workspace now and start using these reports. So you can go to your workspace now and start using it. You'll see that it's there because you have access to this report. So you see now I don't need to hold Control Shift to go to any report now. So like now I can click on this guy and see what is his revenue. You get, so now I can go to Katie Erickson and see what is happening to Katie Erickson in terms of the reports. So this is live on the web page for the organization. Everybody is looking at it and they are seeing how this is working. So this is great for everybody. So, and you know, we've already treated it on how you manage your workspace and every other thing for this. So that's it for this part 2 of this masterclass. Thank you. So I would be happy to get your questions on this.